Srimad Bhagavatam 5.25.1. Sri Sukadeva Goswami said to Maharaj Parikshit, "My dear king, approximately 240,000 miles beneath the planet Patala lives another incarnation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He is the expansion of Lord Vishnu, known as Lord Ananta or Lord Sankarshan. He is always in the transcendental position, but because he is worshipped by Lord Shiva, the deity of Tamagun or darkness, he is sometimes called Tamasi. Lord Ananta is the predominating deity of the material mode of ignorance, as well as the false ego of all conditioned souls. When a conditioned living being thinks, I am the enjoyer, and this world is meant to be enjoyed by me, this concept of life is dictated to him by Sankarshan. Thus the mundane conditioned soul thinks himself the Supreme Lord." Srimad Bhagavatam 5.25.3. At the time of devastation, when Lord Anantadev desires to destroy the entire creation, he becomes slightly angry. Then from between his two eyebrows appears a three-eyed Rudra, carrying a trident. This Rudra, who is known as Sankarshan, is the embodiment of the 11 Rudras, or the incarnations of Lord Shiva. He appears in order to devastate the entire creation. Okay, again, starting with the seed. Within the seed, within the lotus, is the snake. Lord Ananta. These two circles that I drew either side that created the eyes also create Shiva's Tripundra. Again, I'm always following the seed. I'm always using the what's there. So this is Shiva's Tripundra, coming from the forehead, between the eyebrows of Lord Ananta. And actually what I'm going to show is this is actually the lingam. This is the Shiva lingam. And this whole concept of Sankarshan. But again, what I need to do is remove the makar. So when you see me using the square and the compass, or the level and this circular compass, I'm using the makar. But the makar being the head of the zodiac, known now as Capricorn. So there's Shiva, Saturn, Capricorn, Yamaraj. This is the 10th gate. This is the 10th house. This is where this heavy energy, Lord Ananta, this Sankarshan heaviness comes from, this heavy ignorance. Shiva or Lord Ananta aren't in ignorance. They control the ignorance. So what I'm proposing is there is a state of human consciousness beyond the false material ego. But we're sealed within the false material ego. We are in a false state. We're spiritual beings. We're eternal souls, identifying with matter. But beyond the material ego, there's this understanding of yantra and how the cosmos is a yantra. This is why there's this whole world of symbolism equated, connected to the subconscious. And it's the world of symbols. But the seed is the seat of human consciousness. So these lines of Shiva's Tripundra are used to create Rahu and Ketu, 11th house, 5th house. This being the Kala Chakra, these 12 zodiac signs. Rahu, Ketu, false head, false body. Again, Lord Ananta ruling Rahu. So I'm just using those two circles to create this inner and outer circle, which actually creates the perfect pentagram and perfect inverted pentagram, being the subconscious and the conscious, the false head and the false body. And it's also the creation story of how the devas and the demigods were churning the ocean of milk with the Mandara mountain, with Vasuki. One was pulling the tail, one was pulling the head. There must have been, because Vasuki was wrapped around Mandara mountain, and the devas and the demigods were churning the Mandara mountain. And then when the nectar came out, Rahu dived in and drank the nectar before anyone else could get to it. Actually, so Vishnu came and chopped off his head, but because Rahu had taken the nectar of immortality, he became part of the Navagraha. Two parts of the Navagraha, as Rahu and Ketu, is separated even though part of the same body. But again, it's Rahu that rules, the false ego is ruled by Lord Ananta. So the part I want to concentrate on now is the lingam, the snake's tail, these three circles, which is actually the snake's eyes. It's also like the snail of the rattlesnake. The Mandara, this is also the yoni pit where the lingam sits. So we need to flip the lingam and have a look. Actually, what we have to do is open the Tripandra. And we do that by giving up the false ego, the false body. So this is a purport from Shiva Bhagavatam 3.26.1. In order to get release from the false ego, one has to worship Sankarshan. Sankarshan is worshipped through Lord Shiva. The snakes which cover the body of Lord Shiva are representations of Sankarshan, and Lord Shiva is also absorbed in meditation upon Sankarshan. One who is actually a worshipper of Lord Shiva as a devotee of Sankarshan can release from the false material ego. So, I flipped the snake on its side, which is the lingam. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to take these circles, and then I'm going to just draw the snake again, but I'm going to draw it within this eye to create Shiva's Tripandra. Again, always see the life. So now I'm drawing on the makar. The makar's just on the side, that's all. So it's the makar's intersections that's actually creating. I'm just going to draw this and explain it. So, three-eyed Rudra, this being the third eye. It's the makar. I'm just drawing in the makar. There's two makar there, one facing this way, one facing that way. It's also Shiva's trident, the Trishulya, his trident. But it's Shiva that rules the third eye. So what I've done again, I've taken this circle, I've put it down here, and I'm drawing Shiva's drum. And all this is going to become relevant because I'm going to tie it all back to the Vedic temples. This is how they was building the ancient temple. So we have Shiva's drum. It said the zodiac, the universe itself moves to the beat of Shiva's drum. These four directions. And again, if it's Shiva, it needs snakes. So this is Vasuki, the cosmic snake, around Shiva's neck. So then we have Vasuki, the cosmic snake, within, wrapped around, this being the actual coils. the Vasuki, around the head, around the neck of Lord Shiva. So now I want to explain how, because I'm going to combine all this together and overlay it over some Vedic temples. I want to explain the golden ratio, how the ancients got the golden ratio. So golden ratio 1 to 1.618. Again, the seed, snake, divide into 4, divide the eye into 4, because the eye is used to create the inner and outer. The eyes are used to create the inner and outer movements of the sun. 3 sun circles. So what I'm doing is this. Set the compass to 5 centimeters. Set the compass to 5 centimeters, creating a 10 centimeter diameter circle. Draw the snake. Draw the sun circles. Put the compass back to the 5 centimeter and draw that same master circle in line with the southern path of the sun, with this outer circle. And that will give you your 1, that will give you your whole, and that will give you your 61.8%. So this is how the golden ratio was being calculated. And that's why everything, especially within the Vedic temples, is all built to golden ratio. Also the pyramids follow the same principle. It's interesting how this master circle creates this crescent moon. The crescent moon within Shiva's hair. (84 degrees, 48 degrees, 48 degrees). 8 plus 4, 12. 4 plus 8, 12. 12, that's 36. 3 sun circles, 6 petals, 36, 3, 6. But this is the golden ratio, and this is the golden triangle that a lot of the Vedic temples are built to. At least parts of it. But what I'm doing is putting the lingam up, floating in the golden ratio. It's another aspect of how Shiva comes from the forehead of Lord Ananta. And this golden ratio is actually Shiva's bow. But again, there's the 3 circles. Right. Again, the 3 circles, the snake, and Lord Shiva coming from the forehead, from between the eyebrows of Lord Ananta. So that is all those things I've just shown combined together. I've also got the nakshatras and the 108 padas. Shiva Lingam, these are Shiva's eyes, and these eyes are the pivot points. So you set your compass to this circle, but then you put the compass point on Shiva's eyes, and then you create the 3rd eye. But everything there is come from the seed of life. And there are philosophical reasons, there's shastric reasons why I'm doing what I'm doing. Anyway, I have to keep explaining because so this is Konark Temple, the Sun Temple. I've done a few videos on this showing the esoteric journey of what these buildings are representing Actually, what they're representing is human consciousness beyond the false material ego. This everything in golden ratio, everything in harmony. But pause this and have a look. But it's very obvious, or at least it's very obvious to me, at least, that this is what they were using to create their architecture. So human consciousness beyond the false ego is geometric, it's yantric, yantra. So this is Kailash Temple. This is 38 degrees of the Makar, and again you have the lingam levitating. 3 sun circles. These are the eyes of Shiva. Here's the snake's head, and this is the Vesica Pisces. This is the eye that they're opening from this pivot point. From this, these 2 pivot points, snake's head. That geometry. I'll overlay it. So it speaks for itself, but this is the geometry that we're using, and this whole concept of, and this whole esoteric concept. So here you come through the subconscious, you end up going into the conscious, and then you have these eyes of Shiva that are creating the eye, so they're taking you into the eye, and then you're coming out of the eye, into the mind circle, back out into the subconscious, into Shiva's drum. And then you've been taken from Shiva's drum, from the conscious into the subconscious. The deity has been brought into the conscious. The Shiva Lingam's here. But all to this golden ratio, because this is Shiva's bow. This is a Shiva temple. Shiva's bow is the golden ratio. That's why Ram broke Shiva's bow to get Sita. What's this one? This is Angkor Wat. Same principle. There's Shiva's drum. And again, pause it, have a look. But this is what they were using to design and create their architecture and buildings. This concept of tipping the snake and getting the Naga vision. Look what these guys were doing. This is an eye of Shiva. Sun circles, Makar guarding. But again, it all leads back, all links back to Bhumandala disc being on the head of Lord Ananta. So in Vedic times, they were connecting to the Manasatara mountain. They were connecting to the mind mountain through this third eye concept, beyond the material ego. They've got past that. And beyond that is this whole world of yantra and geometry. So this being the Shiva Lingam. Shiva's Tripundra, Vasuki, Shiva's drum, Shiva's trident, Shiva's bow, and the pentagram. So as fanciful as it seems, this is human consciousness beyond the false material ego. And again, this is just the framework for the ethereal lotus.